A secret Nazi base in Antarctica. What evidence supports its existence and whether Hitler could have taken refuge there after his defeat? Not so long ago, in the World Wide Web, appeared in the unusual picture made off the coast of Antarctica. It shows an object very reminiscent of a ship. Striking resemblance to the liner has generated a new surge of interest in one of the conspiracy theories, claiming that allegedly after the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II, Hitler did not settle accounts with life, and he and a number of high-ranking leaders of the Third Reich managed to escape and hide in the German secret military base, which the Nazis managed to equip in Antarctica. It sounds fantastic. However, there are a number of historical facts that show that the Germans did have an unexpectedly high interest in the South Pole and visited it many times before the war. So, was there a secret Nazi base in Antarctica, and could Hitler have hidden in this southernmost point of the Earth? In 1947, journalist Ladislaus Sabo published a book with the provocative title, "Hitler is Alive." In it, for the first time, it was claimed that the Führer and Eva Braun had not taken their own lives, but had fled from Germany to a military base in Antarctica. According to Sabo, between April 22 and May 2, 1945, the leadership of the Third Reich traveled to another continent in submarines. As evidence, the journalist cites the fact that in July and August 1945, two ocean-going Nazi submarines, U-530 and U-977, surrendered to Argentine authorities. According to the journalist, they were transporting the Nazis to the South Pole, after which they ran out of fuel and surrendered to the nearest neutral country. Part of the researchers who support the version that Hitler is alive believe that the evacuation of the top of the Third Reich were not two subs and much more. In proof are data that of the 1,100 submarines in Germany, more than 100 disappeared without a trace at the very end of the war. The boats were not destroyed, did not give distress signals, but simply disappeared. Assuming that Hitler and Eva Braun did escape to Antarctica, where could they hide there? In the permafrost and snow? How could they survive there if the average annual temperature on the continent is 55 degrees? The Germans had been interested in the South Pole since the 1930s. In 1939, during the Antarctic expedition, they discovered the ice-free Schirmacher Oasis, an area of 35 square kilometers. According to conspiracy theorists, it was there that the Nazi leaders could take refuge after the war. In addition, it was the Germans were found that the territory of Antarctica there are caves, inside which is not frozen seawater. This was the basis for the theories that Germany was able to create an underwater city there that could not be detected from airplanes or satellites because it was under the ice shell of Antarctica. Berlin did indeed attach extreme importance to Antarctica research. Thus, the study of the icy continent was personally supervised by Hermann Göring, the second person in the Nazi hierarchy after Hitler. In the 30s, the Germans sent at least 3 large and very expensive expeditions to the southern continent. They cost the Reich 3 million Reichsmarks. In modern terms, it is more than $20 million. Such wastefulness is surprising, because during the preparation for World War II, Germany had very important expenses, including scientific expeditions. Nevertheless, to explore Antarctica, the Nazis equipped an ocean liner with the latest technology, and even equipped it with 2 airplanes. The liner successfully sailed to the shores of Antarctica. While scientists conducted research, the planes flew over the continent, took pictures, and dropped swastika flags, thus securing a huge piece of territory which was later declared the property of Germany and called New Swabia. According to many researchers, the commander-in-chief of the German Navy, Gross Admiral Karl Dönitz, directly said that in Antarctica, Germans built a military base. Speaking before the cadets of the naval school, he said, "The German submarine fleet is proud that, far away at the edge of the earth, he built for the Führer earthly paradise, an impregnable fortress." Except that modern historians find very few details of the construction. It turns out that Dönitz was the only one in Nazi Germany who mentioned a fortress in Antarctica. 3. But in 2008, German researcher Hans-Ulrich von Kranz confirmed with new facts the words of the Nazi Grand Admiral about the construction of a fortress in Antarctica. In his book, Swastika in the Ice, Krantz cited the testimony of a certain SS officer, Olaf Weizsäcker, who allegedly also told that at the South Pole, the Nazis founded the so-called Base 211, which was equipped with everything necessary for the long-term residence of dozens or even hundreds of people. It turns out that Hitler and his entourage could really hide in an impregnable fortress on the edge of the earth? But not everything is so unambiguous. Weizsäcker is an ancient German dynasty. Its representatives are known as participants in the many wars that Germany has fought over the centuries. However, modern historians have not found any of the SS officers with the name Olaf Weizsäcker. Therefore, it turns out that Krantz simply invented this character. But then, how to deal with Gross Admiral Dönitz? Because he is definitely not a fictitious, but a real historical figure. It is believed that Dönitz uttered his famous words about a fortress for the Führer in 1943, according to other data in 1944. However, there are no documents confirming that he really talked about Base 211. Moreover, not a single graduate of German naval schools has ever mentioned that the naval commander spoke before him or his classmates about the fortress in Antarctica. The last question remains, what could have happened to 100 missing submarines? Because it is a serious force. A grouping of this size was able to break through any barriers, go to the open sea, and really evacuate Hitler. Historian Konstantin Zalaski compiled a list of all German submarines, indicating which of them were damaged, sunk, surrendered, or was withdrawn from the fleet for other reasons. It turned out that the fate of almost every submarine is established, and 100 allegedly missing boats, allegedly the Führer's convoy, is another myth, not confirmed by documents. So the story about the Nazis' Antarctic research is fiction? Not exactly. There were expeditions, and it's known for a fact. The southern continent is a huge territory, rich in minerals. That's what Germany needed, but because of the lack of technology in the 1930s and 1940s, the Nazis couldn't get them. They had to limit themselves to whaling. Goering, who led the expedition, first of all set the task to solve the deficit of such an important product at that time, such as whale oil. Germany imported this product from Great Britain, and Goering realized that the war was not far off and the import would come to an end. But could the Nazis still consider Antarctica not only as a resource base but also as a refuge, and equip a fortress there just in case? Most historians believe that it is unlikely that the Germans saw this as a necessity, because before the attack on the Soviet Union, Germany easily captured one after another 12 countries. With large European armies, the Nazis dealt with so easily that the preparation of secret shelters in those years would not have looked like a logical idea at all. That's all today. Subscribe to the channel, put likes. Thank you for watching our video today.